Hey, what's up, guys? New year, 2020, new perspectives. I want to take a couple minutes here to reflect a little bit on 2019, make some new resolutions for 2020, and speak my mind on a couple of things real quick. And this is something I'm going to do more often. Now that I got the studio set up, in between the Neutral Corner episodes, those are long videos, long segments. I want to do some short little rant videos in between more often. Sometimes it'll be boxing, sometimes it'll be life, sometimes it'll be both. By the way, I should mention the Neutral Corner is back this Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also, we're getting the phone call situation set up. We've got the number, we've got the technology. We're just testing it out. 2 or 3 weeks, by the end of this month, you guys are going to be able to call into the show. I can't wait. So that is coming very, very soon. But 2019, man, it was a tough year for me in my personal life to a certain degree. There was a lot of changes, a lot of hard work. Okay, a lot of big-time life-changing stuff. Those of you who follow me more consistently, you know what I'm talking about. But also professionally, I prospered a lot in 2019, right? I continued to develop my relationship with Ring. I did dozens of articles in the magazine and the website. My latest comprehensive piece on fighter safety in the February issue, highly recommend. Check that out, whether you read it in the magazine or online. But I also did work on Ring's YouTube channel. I did national radio segments, a bunch of them here in America and in other countries around the world. I had my work printed in several different languages in countries all over the world. It was awesome. A big part of that was you guys, not only supporting me here on my YouTube, but spreading the word and chatting with me on Twitter, right? I want to really talk about Twitter for a second here, specifically because I just ran some analytics reports, and last year in 2019, I had 20 million impressions on Twitter. 20 million plus impressions I created on my Twitter profile. Keep in mind, I only have about 8,500 followers, okay? There are platforms out there, there are Twitter profiles that have tens of thousands of followers because they buy them, that don't have half the interaction and engagement that I have with my followers. That's awesome. And that's also getting a lot of eyes on me. Promoters and people like that pay attention to that stuff. So 20 million Twitter impressions last year. How awesome is that? By the way, I'm just looking here on my Twitter. I have tweeted over 60,000 times. I have posted over 60,000 tweets over the years. I've been on Twitter now for almost 10 years. The first 5 years, I didn't tweet but maybe a dozen times. But the last 5 years, I've tweeted basically 60,000 times. So that's awesome. And I get a lot of engagement and interaction with you guys. Have a great time doing it. And those of you who follow me, you know that, yes, most of what I tweet about is boxing, but I tweet about life stuff. I retweet stuff that I find funny, whether it's memes or silly jokes or videos. And I also do some trolling because let's face it, man, Twitter is very serious and dramatic, and there's a lot of infighting and just this high tense drama. And I like to break that shit up, and I like to troll a little bit and have some fun. The problem with that is that while we've had some really good ones, right? And we've had some, admit it, I've made you laugh your ass off more than a few times over the past year or so with some of my trolling. And you've made me laugh too. We've had fun, and we've had some great threads going. But then also I've had some duds, some straight up bombs. Think of it as a stand-up comedian. You're working your jokes and you got to work through all the bombs and flubs and mistakes to get to the stuff that hits. And that's the way my Twitter profile has been to a certain degree. This is all good. It's awesome. If you follow me and you understand who I am and that I'm a good guy, you understand that if I do make a mistake, even if it's just an honest mistake, or maybe I get a date wrong, a name wrong, if I'm tweeting about a fighter or something, or if I give a really opinionated tweet that you understand, I might disagree with Mike on this politically or whatever it is, or he sounds a little harsh today, but he's a good dude and it's okay. We just disagree, no big deal. However, as my profile continues to build, also there's a growing number of detractors. Yes, there's a growing number of people that like my work and respect it and follow it. There's also a growing number of detractors. Normally I don't pay any attention to these people, but there are people out there that have decided for whatever reason that they don't like me. And they go as far as to save screen tweets of mine or save screen clips of videos or segments of interviews I've done or take snippets of articles I've written, very selectively take these little clips and little examples, maybe remove the context of the thread that they're a part of, and purposely use them to misrepresent me and paint me as a bad guy. And there are people out there that have their own preconceived notions, biases, prejudices, who will look at that little sequence of tweets or posts or whatever it is, and they'll say, see, that's why I don't like that Michael Montero guy right there, because their confirmation bias has been fed. Do they take the extra step to give me the benefit of the doubt and do 5 minutes of research and judge me on the totality of my work? No, they're going to judge me based on that 1%. Now, there was a time where that drove me nuts, and I would go after these people and I'd engage with them. And sometimes I would try to be pragmatic about it, and I would try to have a meeting of the minds and try to compromise and explain my position, say, nah, dude, you got it all wrong. It's not like that. It's like this. What I have found is that there's no winning with some people. They have made up their mind. They don't like me. Why the hell should I waste my time talking to them? They're never going to give me the benefit of the doubt. Never. They're just going to keep making assumptions about me and characterizing me a certain way. I'm not going to waste my time anymore with that. So a resolution that I've made, and by the way, I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. If you're going to make a resolution, do it 24/7, 365, not just at the beginning of the year to make yourself feel better. Hold yourself accountable. My resolution going forward is to stop paying any damn attention to these people. I simply don't give a shit about them. They're a non-factor. And ultimately, look, some people, I'm not even talking about the people that see a tweet that's being posted about me or a meme or whatever, and they're like, man, I don't like this Michael Montero guy. I'm not even talking about them because they don't really know any better. It's the person creating that meme or creating that false image. Those are bad people. What I have found is not only is it a waste of time to interact with them, but that the universe has a way of sorting these people out. These people eventually, sometimes it takes years, but they expose themselves, right? There was an individual a couple years ago who was really going hard at me, and not just me, but some of my peers and mentors. And this person would smile in our face and shake our hand and be jovial and courteous. And then behind our back would say all kinds of nasty shit on their YouTube channel and purposely twist things that we said. And I'll make it specific about me. There were certain videos and posts I made where looking back, it's like, I could have worded that better. I could have chose my words more wisely. I could have done a better job trying to make my point. But this person knew who I was, knew what I was trying to say, because they knew me personally to a certain degree, and took things I said and purposely twisted them intentionally to mislead people about who I am. And it worked for a little while. And there are some people that believe this guy and everything. But in the end, this person has exposed themselves. And they've been blacklisted by about everybody in the business. They've been bitch slapped in public. Very recently, there's all kinds of videos about it. I'm sure you guys can figure out who I'm talking about. And this person's all but out of the industry. They're a fringe element that pretty much nobody pays attention to anymore. So ultimately, that's what happens to bad people. They expose themselves, and the universe has a way of balancing that shit out. So a resolution I'm making to myself and to you is to stop paying these people any attention and giving them any, because that's all they really want in the end is attention, because they're jealous. Some of them are just prejudiced. They're hateful. They're not good people. So what I ask of you, okay, because some of you guys send me DMs of save screens. You'll see people saying things about me, purposely, again, characterizing me in a false way. And you'll want to defend me, and I understand that. And I thank you for that. It makes me feel good because it means that you guys are trying to defend me and stick up for me, and I genuinely appreciate that. But going forward, man, let's just ignore these people. Seriously, if you want to correct them and say, hey, Montero didn't mean it like that, or he didn't really say that, or he has since changed his viewpoint on this or that, go ahead, okay? Don't tag me or at me in it. I don't want to deal with these people anymore, because here's the bottom line. Just as I said a minute ago, I have tweeted over 60,000 times. If people out there, I don't care if you're the Pope, if the Pope tweeted 60,000 times and somebody really didn't like the Pope, they could do some digging and find 100 tweets that the Pope tweeted. Maybe it was on a bad day. He was having a moment and he tweeted something and it just came out sounding nasty or whatever it is. And they could paint the Pope as a terrible person if they really, really wanted to. That's the way social media works. I don't care who you are. 60,000 tweets. There's going to be some flubs, some mistakes, and some shit, just poorly worded posts. And I admit that. And there's several tweets that I've had, over the last couple of years. I think back, or YouTube videos or things I've said in interviews and stuff like that, where I think back and I'm like, man, I should have said that differently. I should have said this or that differently and done a better job trying to make my point, because I can see how certain people could take that and interpret it a different way. And I see that it comes off completely opposite of what I intended. Now with Twitter, I can delete a tweet. With YouTube, I can delete a video. But if I do an interview or something, that soundbite is out there. And even with Twitter, there are some of these people that are so dedicated to bringing me down. One dude in particular, who although he has ruined his relationships with everybody just about in the business, there's one platform that still works with him. And he's working behind the scenes actively to try to shut me down and get me out of the business because he's jealous. I don't know what his issue is. But this person save screens tweets that I've posted. Even tweets that I would look back and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I could see how this just came out wrong. I was trying to troll or make a joke and it just came out really wrong. It didn't sound good. It didn't come off the way I intended. So I deleted the tweet. I don't even stand by the tweet. And this person save screened it and routinely uses certain tweets and posts of mine from the past as if I just made the tweet or as if I stand by it, or even if it's something where I made a mistake or got a date wrong, that I haven't corrected the mistake. There's plenty of times where I tweeted something or posted or said something. You guys correct me all the time on the neutral corner, right? There was an instance a couple weeks ago where I said there was a prospect that was Kermit Cintron's son. That was incorrect. It was another Cintron, a former fighter whose last name was Cintron. It was his son. So you guys corrected me. I corrected it. I made a note. We move forward. But there are people out there who will take that mistake and blast it and say, see, man, he don't know what the hell he's talking about. If you're going to judge me on the 0.01% of the mistakes I make or the things that come out incorrectly and don't sound good, or even if it's the stuff that you just disagree on, and you're judging me on that small, minor thing, but you're ignoring the other 99% of my tweets that are fair, objective, whether you agree with them or not, fact and logic based, inclusive, welcoming of different types of points of views, then you're a dick and you're biased. You're the one who's prejudiced. You're the one who has an issue and an agenda. If you're not judging me on the totality of my work, if you're not giving me the benefit of the doubt and doing a little bit of research, I got no time for you. So that would be my request to you as well, guys. Let's stop focusing on these people. They're bags of shit, and they're eventually going to expose themselves. I don't have the time to waste on them anymore. I'm so busy doing so much work. There's so many good things happening for me. Let's focus on that. And the bottom line is this. I'll just close on this, okay? And I'm not trying to preach or lecture here. I'm just giving you guys my thoughts, okay? So I apologize if it's coming out that way. I truly don't mean it that way. But we're all boxing people, right? That means that we agree on 90% of this shit, but we spend so much time focusing on the 10% that we disagree upon. It's okay to disagree and have different opinions and even have arguments about it if it's respectful and, again, based in facts and logic and it's objective. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I love the debate. That's part of the fun of being a boxing fan. And let's face it, we don't have the corporate backing of the NFL or Major League Baseball. Boxing is the fringe of the fringe. It's the niche of the niche. We are all we got. It is boxing versus the world. So why do we spend so much time focusing on this negative bullshit when we got plenty of positive stuff to talk about, right? That's my resolution going forward in 2020. I want to try to be more inviting and welcoming and inclusive of different points of view. Even if I'm not your cup of tea, and I've said things in the past that upset you or rubbed you the wrong way, I'm inviting you back. Let's try this again, okay? If you're coming at me with facts and logic and objectivity, you got a home here. If you're coming at me with bias, prejudice, preconceived notions, and zero bending, zero compromise, you're never going to give anyone the benefit of the doubt if they disagree with your worldview, fuck off. There's no place for you here. That's the rule in 2020, okay? The Neutral Corner this Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Pacific Time. I'll see you then.